So the Handmaid's Tale just wrapped up its fourth season, and it's a pretty good season finale. We finally get a little bit of revenge, not just justice, but actual revenge. And there's a lot to unpack in that. We can say that maybe an eye for an eye turns the whole world blind. Or we can say, an eye for an eye is, exactly what someone like Fred Waterford deserves. So spoilers follow, but I'm going to talk a little bit about season 4 as a whole, this finale, and kind of what I'm hoping to see in season 5, since there will be a season 5. So in this episode, we expected Fred Waterford to get sent to Geneva to get a pardon, to find clemency, whatever. He was going to turn state's witness, basically. Throw his former colleagues in Gilead under the bus and become a free man. And then what the hell is going to happen, right? What's June going to do? She can't process this. Instead, one thing leads to another. She convinces the Americans to meet with Joseph Lawrence, and they arrange a prisoner swap. 22 freedom fighters, Marthas basically, for Fred. And of course, since Fred is now a traitor, they're going to put him on trial. And this will be at least some form of justice. But what ends up happening is Nick arranges for June to meet up in the woods, where he brings Fred, and June and her mob or posse of, much wronged former Gilead prisoners takes out their vengeance and beats him to death. Then they string him up on the wall and spray paint the little saying from the season 1, episode 4, actually, that June found in Latin, which basically means "Don't let the bastards get you down." So this is kind of full circle back to season 1 when she was a prisoner, and it kind of makes when you think back to season 1, you think back to what I have to say, as strong as season 4 is, and I'm not really disappointed with season 4. It's just not as compelling a show as season 1. Now, season 1 was horrific, extremely hard to watch. And we've all sort of wanted to see some revenge, some justice ever since then. And we finally got that in the season finale of season 4. But I still can't help but think, did this show need 4 seasons? Would we have been better off with just telling the original story from Margaret Atwood's book, instead of sort of carrying on through all this, misery and grim, dark bleakness that we've had to endure, that June and other characters have had to endure, all this death, all these horrors, all this sadness and trauma. I'm a little mixed on that, because I do think that they are doing a pretty good job carrying on this story past the source material. I think that, in terms of cinematography, costumes, acting, the writing, in terms of, the dialogue, I think it's all quite strong. I think there are some plot issues that the show has gone through, especially in season 2 and 3. Season 4 has been overall, I think, stronger, just because that the story has moved forward in ways that it didn't especially in season 3, which was just this harrowing, dismal, miserable experience overall. Though it had its bright moments, especially with the Lawrences. But yeah, so season 4 starts off, June and the other handmaids are free. They all get captured again right away. Most of them die. Only Janine and June survive. They get split up. June is rescued by oh my God, what? Moira, sorry, and is taken back to Canada, where she reunites with Luke, and things are just not good there. We've discussed at length whether or not she raped Luke, and we just won't even go there. The fact is, all of the little moments between June and Luke are fraught and strained and uncomfortable as hell. In the season finale, Luke is shocked and dismayed when he finds June covered in blood holding Nicole early in the morning after she's killed Fred, and she says sorry, she'll be gone in 5, and he just crumples to the floor. And I have to say, I think they've really given Luke the short end of the stick this season. Obviously, things are going to be hard between him and June. She's traumatized. He's full of guilt. It would be almost impossible to make that marriage work. And I appreciate that the show is trying to make that realism a part of their their reunion, and not make it like a fairy tale reunion. But at the same time, I feel like they've kind of made Luke a prick. like, of course June's going to want to get revenge. I'm not sure why this is the straw that breaks the camel's back for him. So elsewhere we have, Lawrence working with Aunt Lydia towards the end of the season, and he wants reform. And I think we're all seeing Lydia maybe softening thanks to her caretaking of Janine, who was rescued from the rubble in Chicago and sent back to imprisonment and captivity, but has been kept out of the new breeding grounds. I don't remember what they're called, but instead of just sending handmaids to a family, now they're just sending them to a breeding colony, basically. Aunt Lydia has been protecting Janine, and I think that this is going to be a stepping off point for Aunt Lydia reforming her own way of thinking, and hopefully in season 5 or season 6 or however long they run this show, we start to see Gilead crack from within and some further justice. I'm really curious to see what happens with Serena. Serena, of course, had started to go back and sort of mend things awkwardly with Fred, and you could tell that Agent Tuello was worried about this, and I think that's why he ended up helping June. But Serena is a bad person. We keep thinking she's going to find redemption or come around, and she inches that direction, but it's like pretty much impossible for her to actually be a good person and like shake the brainwashing and zealotry that sort of made her into pretty much insufferable, honestly. So it'll be interesting. What is her comeuppance? We've seen what Fred's is. The scene between Fred and June, where he apologizes and then like starts telling her how much he misses Offred. That was deeply creepy, but an interesting scene. And because I think there's a part of Fred that really was truly apologizing for what happened with Hannah and June, but he never really apologizes for all the rape. And June, I think when she starts acting kind of like she also misses that stuff, I think she's just sort of, I was confused at first. I thought maybe she'd poisoned him, but I think she was just sort of lulling him into complacency. She had all these plans and she wanted him to think like, she wanted to have him have some good thoughts so that she could, rip those away in the end and really drive her, vengeance home. For season 5, I think it would be really great if we did see more of, Gilead and what exactly Lawrence is up to over there, what Nick is doing, how that, how the politics are playing out in Gilead. Maybe we'll see more of that with, Janine and Lydia as well. Maybe these increased border crossings will lead to some sort of like, the Mayday movement actually taking shape, and June running like guerrilla units and hit squads into Gilead to take down evil bastard commanders and whatnot. That'd be kind of fun. If I had one request though, maybe just a fewer close-ups of Elizabeth Moss's face. Just because it's an overused gimmick in this show at this point. Like, save it for when it really matters, because there are those moments when it does, but it's just overused, man. But beyond that, I hope they really continue pushing the story forward. They did a good job of that in the second half of this season, especially, and I think they could be able to wrap this in one more season. So I can't remember if it's been renewed for more than one, but I think that 5 or 6 seasons is probably all you can really squeeze out of this particular show. And obviously I'm still a little like, did they need 4? So what did you think? What did you think of the finale of season 4 in general? Please let me know in the comments, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Peace.